Randall Hughes with GodGlorified.com, and we're reading today's Bible reading for May the 2nd from the Reese Chronological Bible, and this is going to be the year 1018 BC, the year that David became king over all of Israel in Jerusalem. And we're reading beginning in 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 13. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon, Ibhar also, and Elishua, and Nepheg, and Japhia, and Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphalet. And then 1 Chronicles chapter 3, verse 5. And these were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shimea, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon, 4 of Bathshua, the daughter of Amiel, Ibhar also, and Elishama, and Eliphalet, and Nogah, and Nepheg, and Japhiah, and Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphalet, 9. These were all the sons of David, besides the sons of the concubines, and Tamar their sister. And then 1 Chronicles 14, verses 3 through 7. And David took more wives at Jerusalem, and David begat more sons and daughters. Now these are the names of his children which he had in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon, and Abihar, and Elishua, and Eliphalet, and Nogah, and Nepheg, and Japhiah, and Elishama, and Beeliada, and Eliphalet. And then we go back to 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 17. But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, all the Philistines came up to seek David. And David heard of it and went down to the hold. And now back to 1 Chronicles chapter 14, verse 8. And when the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over all Israel, all of the Philistines went up to seek David, and David heard of it and went out against them. And now this is April of 1017 BC, and 1 Chronicles chapter 12, beginning at verse 8. And of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David into the hold to the wilderness men of might and men of war, fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the face of lions, and were as swift as the roes upon the mountains: Ezer the first, Obadiah the second, and Eliab the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attiah the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Machabinah the 11th. These were the sons of Gad, captain of the host. One of the least was over 100, and the greatest over 1,000. These are they that went over Jordan in the first month, when it had overflowed all his banks, and they put to flight all them of the villages, both toward the east and toward the west. And now to 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 18. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And then 1 Chronicles 14, verse 9. And the Philistines came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And then 2 Samuel 23, verse 13 through 17. And 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David to the harvest, in the time of harvest, unto the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in an hold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed, and said, Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem, that was by the gate, and took it, and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto Yahweh. And he said, Be it far from me, O Yahweh, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. And then 1 Chronicles chapter 11, verses 15 to 19. Now 3 of the 30 captains went down to the rock to David into the cave of Adullam, and the host of the Philistines encamped in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in the hold, and the Philistines' garrison was then at Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me a drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem that is at the gate." And the 3 broke through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. But David would not drink it, but poured it out to Yahweh, and said, "My God forbid it, that I should do this thing. Shall I drink the blood of these men that have put their lives in jeopardy? For with the jeopardy of their lives they brought it. Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mightiest." Then back to 2 Samuel chapter 5 at verse 19 through 21. And David inquired of Yahweh, saying, "Shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into mine hand?" And Yahweh said unto David, "Go up, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hand." And David came to Belpharazim, and David smote them there, and said, "Yahweh hath broken forth upon mine enemies before me, as the breach of waters." Therefore he called the name of that place Baal-perazim. And there they left their images, and David and his men burned them. Now to 1 Chronicles chapter 14, verses 10 to 12. And David inquired of God, saying, "Shall I go up against the Philistines? And wilt thou deliver them into mine hands?" And Yahweh said unto him, "Go up, for I will deliver them into thine hands." So they came to Baal-perazim, and David smote them there. Then David said, "God hath broken in upon mine enemies by mine hand, like the breaking forth of waters." Therefore they named the name of that place Baal-perazim. And when they had left their gods there, David gave a commandment, and they were burned with fire. Now back to 2 Samuel chapter 5, verses 23 to 25. And the Philistines came up yet again, and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And when David inquired of Yahweh, he said, "Thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them, and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And let it be, when thou hearest the sound of a going in the top of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt bestir thyself, for then shall Yahweh go out before thee to smite the host of the Philistines." And David did so as Yahweh had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba until they had come to Gezer. Now back to 1 Chronicles 14 and verses 13 through 17. And the Philistines yet again spread themselves abroad in the valley. Therefore David inquired again of God, and God said unto him, "Go not up after them, turn away from them, and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when thou shalt hear a sound of going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt go out to battle. For God is gone forth before thee to smite the host of the Philistines." David therefore did as God commanded him, and they smote the host of the Philistines from Gibeon even to Gezer. And the fame of David went out unto all the lands, and the Yahweh brought the fear of him upon all nations. And now 1 Chronicles chapter 13, verses 1 through 4. And David consulted with the captains of the thousands and hundreds, and with every leader. And David said unto all the congregation of Israel, "If it seem good unto you, and that it be of Yahweh our God, let us send abroad unto our brethren everywhere that are left in all the land of Israel, and with them also to the priests and Levites, which are in their cities and suburbs, that they may gather themselves unto us, and let us bring again the ark of our God to us, for we inquired not at it in the days of Saul." And all the congregation said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people. And now Psalm 139. O Yahweh, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsetting, my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Yahweh, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee, when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me. O God, how great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Yahweh, that hate thee? And am not I grieved at those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred. I can't count them my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And now, 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 1 and 2. And David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Bela of Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of Yahweh of hosts, that dwelleth between the cherubims. And then 1 Chronicles 13, verses 5 and 6. So David gathered all Israel together from Shiloh of Egypt, or Shire of Egypt, even unto the entering of Hemath, to bring the ark of God from Kirjath-jearim. And David went up and all Israel to Bela, that is to Kirjath-jearim, which belongeth to Judah, to bring up thence the ark of God, Yahweh, that dwelleth between the cherubs, whose name is called on it. And I think I'm going to pause here. I think it's going to go too long if I continue. So this will conclude our reading for May the 2nd. God bless you.